So I hope that you can see me. It says that I'm streaming. Okay. Anyone see me? Okay, good. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey. I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your lives. Thank you for your patience. I'm in my back garden, as you can see, and the sun is not going to probably be kind to me as it comes over our home. And so if the sun hits my white hair and it starts glowing, I apologize, but it's just too pretty to be inside, so I wanted to come outside today. Thank you and good morning for those of you who are joining. Today's topic, again, the scale. We have been so anxious, many of us, for so many years to lose weight, either because we feel like we need to lose weight, or we've been told we need to lose weight, or some chart in a doctor's office says we need to lose weight, or society says we need to lose weight, that we get fixated. It's very simple to do. I certainly was fixated. I've got a spreadsheet that I update daily that I started in December of 2000, 17 and a half years ago, of essentially daily input of my weight with very, very few lapses. I was laid up for surgery a few times and, travel. But beyond that, I weighed and logged the weight every day, trying to get the scale to do what it was supposed to do if I would only move more and eat less, if I would only stick to a low-fat regime. And it didn't work in my favor most of the time. So we are fixated on the scale. And when something like the ketogenic diet comes along, that for me, it was just the way to eat. And for those of you who don't know, a ketogenic diet means that you reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver is not pumping out glucose, which your body would probably almost certainly have been using for fuel up until this point if you are a carb eater. And when the glucose tap is turned off, the body turns to accessing fat stores, ketone bodies that you have in your body and that are part of the so you're burning fat for fuel. That's all that means. Okay? That's what the ketogenic diet is. You reduce your carbohydrate intake sufficiently to start burning fat for fuel. It's not a weight loss diet. It's a fat burning diet. So if you're over-consuming dietary fat or over-consuming perfectly allowed foods from a ketogenic plan, but you're simply eating too much of it, you're over-consuming fuel. So anyway, this diet can be so effective for losing body fat when followed correctly. And of course, it's all the rage now. Talk about a bandwagon. To the point, when you start seeing crazy products for sale that just they slap the word keto on it, you know that it's hit the big time. But here are the kinds of messages I get. And I'm sure you maybe have felt this way. I just got one this morning. Someone commented on my YouTube channel. And I think I'm directly quoting this. And if you're watching, friend, this is not a judgment or slam. I'm just quoting. Hi, I love the ketogenic diet. I started 3 weeks ago and have lost 17 pounds, but I've lost nothing in the last 2 days. I'm so confused. I'm going to repeat that. I started 3 weeks ago. I've lost 17 pounds. I've not lost anything in 2 days. I'm so confused. Does that strike me as possibly having unrealistic expectations? All I can do is share my experience. There are well-credentialed scientists and researchers and clinical doctors who can speak to this better about the process. I can speak to you from my experience as someone who was perfectly round for 30 years. I'm actually 115 and a half pounds off my heaviest weight, and I'm 5'1". So, just get out a compass, pencil, and a paper and figure out how round I was. And I tried to follow all the recommendations. So I can speak to you from the experience of someone who tried to lose weight and then gave up. And I just didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes, and I knew that was in my future. So I started following this, and I started losing weight. And it was great. First, what happened, I lost like 6 pounds the first week, but remember, perfectly round, lots of weight to lose. And then the next week, I think, actually, I pulled up my chart, because I have it listed. The first week, I lost 6 pounds. The next week, I lost, listen to this, 0.4 pounds. So I lost 6.1 pounds the first week. The next week, I lost 0.4 pounds. And I never deviated from the program. It was just something that clicked with me when I started doing it. I never deviated. So no funny substitute baked goods, no weird stuff going on. The next week, I lost 1.4 pounds. And so on and so forth, to the point where by week 11, I lost no weight. And then the week after that, I put on 1.2 pounds. Please do yourself a favor if you are confounded by the scale. Either stay away from it if it bothers you. It always served me, particularly because I was being successful on this at the beginning. Well, I continued to be successful. I was so happy that I felt better and that I could eat food. I lost weight without being hungry, not for a minute. I was never hungry. And I don't mean like I was never empty. I was just never hungry. And I quickly started eating less food because I was very satisfied. My appetite was suppressed. I always kept my carbs. The only thing I ever measured were carbohydrate grams, 20 or fewer a day, total, not net. And I just said, well, like 0 was fewer than 20. So some days all I ate were things like bacon and eggs and sausage, and then maybe a crustless pizza. I mean, seriously, just shredded cheese and pepperonis under the broiler. And a ribeye dipped in ranch dressing. I mean, it was just easy for me to do. And I was successful. But those are not stellar numbers by some people's measure. The first year, and I'm someone who had a lot to lose. Not a few vanity pounds to fit into a bathing suit. Lord help me. No. Not to fit into a bathing suit, because the world doesn't need to see that. I had a lot to lose. The first year, listen to this, I lost 47 pounds. That's less than a pound a week. Some people would be very discouraged by that. One woman asked me how long it took to lose the 97.4 pounds. I don't think I'd even lost that much when she asked the question. I said, about 3 years. She said, well, that's not very fast. So how much weight have you lost in 3 years? And what do I care? I used to make videos and reassure people that I, too, was a slow loser. And I thought that is a disservice, not only to other people, but to myself. I wasn't a slow loser. I was a normal loser. Normal. It's very normal weight loss. When you were putting on weight, did you pay attention and say, well, I've put on weight every single day? No, there were probably entire weeks where you didn't put on any weight. Did you worry about that? Did you say, oh, well, I guess I haven't put on any weight in a week. I guess I'm never going to put on any more weight. No. On the way up, there were probably days that you lost weight. But here's how our bodies do. And now I'm going to tell you another story. I'm essentially where I'm going to be. I would like to lose 2.6 more pounds because my ego wants to say I lost 100 pounds since starting keto. Vanity. It's nothing more than that. I don't need to lose the weight. I'd like to lose 2.6 more. So I say this by, I'm essentially at goal weight by any measure. Monday, I weighed whatever I weighed. Didn't change a thing. I've got this down. I know what I'm doing. I'm very comfortable with it. I'm happy eating this way or not eating, depending on what I'm doing. Some days I eat more than others. So Monday I was whatever I weighed. The next morning, because I still weigh every day, I was up 3.4 pounds. Our bodies need to do what they need to do. Weight fluctuates. I didn't put on 3.4 pounds of fat, nor did I put on 3.4 pounds of muscle. It was water, retained for whatever reason. Who knows? The full moon, the heat. Because our bodies try to do what they need to do. And if we will get out of their ways, they'll do what they need to do. We've been trying to make our bodies do something, for many of us, do what they were not designed to do for so long. We've been trying to make our bodies be okay with a carb, glucose-laden diet. And for many of us, and I would say for most of us, that's just not the way we were designed. Some people are okay. Dunkin' Donuts all day long. They're healthy. Their blood sugars, their blood pressure, their triglycerides, their HDL, their waistline, everything is perfect. Fantastic for them. Most of us are not like that. So, if I have anything to recommend to people from my experience, which is truly all I can offer, is my perspective, my experience, my understanding of the research, and the science, my understanding of it. Again, I have no credentials, but I do have experience. A lot of the researchers are fantastic, and they're brilliant. Many of them have no idea what it's like to be fat. And it's hard to be fat. It's hard to be overweight. It's hard physically. It's hard to get around. It's embarrassing. It's hard to find clothes that you like. Doesn't matter your gender or your age. It is not easy being fat. Forget about all the health impacts that come from burning glucose for fuel. Type 2 diabetes, inflammation, acid reflux, things that very often are addressed by simply changing your food. So, my experience, if I was to offer any advice. First of all, if you're just starting out, take pictures of yourself. It's mortifying. It's awful. There are very few extant photographs of me from before because you know what happens when the cameras come up. You run and hide if you're overweight. Some people revel in their bodies. I never did when I was heavy. Take pictures, hide them away, password protect them. Don't let anyone see them. Take a video diary of yourself. Get in a closet. Take a video diary. Talk to yourself. Take measurements. I never did. Never did. Wish I had. Because losing inches without losing weight is a thing. And adjust your expectations. Don't expect to lose a pound a day, a pound a week, 10 pounds a month. Don't do that to yourself. And don't say, I only lost X number of pounds in a month. Would you ever say, I only put on 6 pounds in a month? No, be hysterically upset. And then don't qualify it with, I've lost 10 pounds. I've got a long way to go. Don't do that either. You are who you are. You're okay. This will work. Stick to it. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Eat if you are hungry. But don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop when you're satiated. I changed what some people say. They say stop when you're full. I don't think so. I don't think we need to eat until we're full. Stop when you're satiated. And then move on with your life. Stop thinking about food. I've said it before, I'll say it again. My best-selling bit of swag were t-shirts that said, "Food is not the boss of me." It's great. Adjust your expectations. And then, if you are going to weigh, just be at peace with it. Realize that weight loss is not a straight line. Weight gain was not a straight line up. I was very round, but I didn't put on weight every day. I mean, if I'd put on weight every day for 30 years, I would be as big as one of the moons of Jupiter. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way coming down either. But if you really want it, here's a pro tip. Think of the things that have nothing to do with the scale. Can't tell you how many people I hear from that say, "This is wonderful. I'm off of my acid reflux medication. I was able to cut my arthritis medication down to almost nothing. I haven't needed an asthma inhaler. But I haven't lost any weight in a month, and I really wonder what I'm doing wrong." Well, my answer is you're doing everything right. Just list off the things that you just said. Ultimately, what's more important? Your internal and mental health, or some arbitrary number on a scale? Claim the victories, whatever they are. If the victory is that you can cross your legs for the first time in 25 years, that's a victory. Helena, who's in Patreon, and I do want to thank patrons who make their contributions, make it possible for people like me to take the time to produce content both for them and other platforms. Helena shared a shot on the patron-only forum discourse. She was flying out on vacation. She took a picture with a note that she said that the last time she flew, she had to get a seatbelt extender for the airplane. And this time she showed normal seatbelt with literally a foot of seatbelt left over. There's a victory. There's something that is, oh my God, it's so humiliating when you're in an airplane and you can't fit. That's a victory. So claim your victories, adjust your expectations. This is not a weight loss diet, it's a fat burning diet. I'm going to add to that. People say, "I'm doing everything to a T." I'm doing everything to a T. And then they'll say, I'm keeping my carbs to 20 net carbs. I'm having 2 bulletproof coffees a day. I'm having my fat bombs in between meals. And I don't understand. Well, that's not doing everything to a T. Do what you like. Do what works for you. Again, don't let anyone tell you what to eat. No one gets a vote, including a runty, white-haired person who talks to you from her backyard. But if things aren't working for you, fall back to the basic premise of the protocol, which I didn't make up. It's as old as the hills. It goes all the way back, at least to 1863. Keep your carbohydrate intake to total grams 20. 20 total grams or fewer a day. Eat fatty sources of protein. That just means eat the meat and poultry and fish that came with its natural fat. Unfortunately, very often they're the cheaper cuts of meat. Chicken thighs with the skin, not a boneless, skinless chicken breast. Chuck roast, not an eye of the round where all the fat's been cut off. Ribeyes with the fat. Eggs with the yolks. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satisfied. Notice that that protocol has nothing to do with the M word. It has nothing to, there's no prescription for total grams of protein or fat because we're all different. Our energy needs are different. Our body compositions are different. Our genders are different. Our ages are different. Our activity level is different. But if you will just listen to your body and keep your carbs to a level where you're burning fat for fuel, not glucose, this will work. Keep it simple. That's what worked for me. Okay, thank you for your attention. I'm going to turn to questions. Let me see if I can read this. It's a little harder in the outside. Ooh, my glasses are dirty. Okay, Ellen Morgan writes, take pics and measurements monthly. I weigh daily, and you're right. It fluctuates so much, but I understand the body balance. I also journal my food and emotions. It is a journey, not a short-term fix. I just compared my starting date with my 3-month photos. Wow, it's remarkable. 35 pounds down and 14 inches. Sums it up right there. Don't listen to me. Listen to Ellen. Thank you for sharing that, Ellen. I can sign a little bit. I can spell, I can finger spell, and I can do a little bit of signing. Very little. Was I signing? Did I just, I probably said the M word. Yes, I probably did that. I also speak Spanish. Would love to start a Spanish language channel. But I speak Spanish pretty well, but I worry about speaking technical stuff and using the wrong words and saying the wrong thing. What is your take on meds derailing weight loss? Asks Sharon. My take is I am not qualified to speak on that. I have heard from other people that some types of medicines can do, but I don't want to say that. And I think sometimes it's easy to say, well, I can't do this because I'm on X medication. Spoiler alert. No gallbladder, no thyroid, Hashimoto's, menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, hysterectomy. There's nothing to stop you. I'm way postmenopausal. I had a hysterectomy when I was 30. What else? I'm not an athlete, although I do try to incorporate more movement and action in my life. Okay, Tammy Olan writes, thank you, Casey. The last 10 pounds is brutal. Yeah, but you know what? 10 pounds, honestly. Mine is, I will be really frank with you. You know, I was reading to you, my first week, second week, third week, then month, and then so went on, had a ritual after about the first 30, 35 pounds. Come down in the morning. My mood was so much better. And it was amazing that I would actually talk about my weight. I never talked about my weight before with my husband because I was mortified. And God forbid he should bring up, babe, you want to go get some exercise? I would so defensive about it. I would get angry. But anyway, I started, oh my gosh. Because I didn't say anything until he noticed, said, have you lost weight? I said, yes, honey, I actually have. It was about maybe 15 pounds. So then I started weighing every morning, come down. I say, well, I haven't hit a new low in 4 days. I guess it's over. I've lost 35 pounds, but I'm okay with that. If I never lose another ounce, I feel so much better. And I did. My mood, my joints, my energy level, my brain came back. Like I like to say, I used to be really smart, and then I got kind of foggy. And then I started keto, and I got smart again. So, I'm essentially been flatlined, within a few, I don't count these little fluctuations, for over a year. Oh, Elaine writes, after my mama died in February, I put on some weight that I lost. Did you struggle with binge eating and going back to destructive behavior? No. And I'm going to tell you something. I did before. I've shared this before, so, give me the wrap-up sign if you don't want to hear it. I knew for a long time that low carb worked for me. I didn't understand about ketosis or anything. I knew it worked for me. I knew it from college. So in 1977, I knew that it worked. I'd put on about 10 or 12 pounds in second year of college. So I did it, lost the weight, never went back to it. Until about 2002 or 3 maybe, and I did it again. Now, this is not a poor, pitiful me, but I'm going to tell you something. When I was pregnant with our third child, I was diagnosed with an invasive adenocarcinoma. Found out when I was pregnant. That was very dramatic. Everything went fine. He is now 28 years old. So that was dramatic. And then in about 2004, I was diagnosed with necrotic breast cancer, which really irritated me. I had been doing low carb and had lost some weight. I was actually feeling pretty good. Nothing like I've done now, but I was feeling good and everything. And I was so irritated that I actually, from that moment, the afternoon of getting that diagnosis, I was in an office setting and there was a conference called Getting Ready to Go On. And they brought in this pyramid of bagels. And I stared at that pyramid of bagels. And I grabbed a bagel. I hadn't had a carb in months. And that was it. Now, I share this story, and then I put all the weight right back on almost immediately. I share this because of this. At the end of that, you know, I was stress eating carbs, comfort eating carbs. I was, yes, because poor me. So I deserve my carbs. Guess what? At the end of it, I put on the weight and I still had cancer. It didn't fix anything. If hunger is not the problem, food is not the solution. It's not comfort food. It's torture food. If you are someone who doesn't handle carbs well, it's not comfort. At the end of it, your mother was still gone. And you put weight on. And you maybe, I'm not going to speak for you, maybe felt badly about yourself. Felt like a backslider. Like a weakling. You're not a weakling. No food is comfort food. Not a ribeye. Not a bagel. That first, and I was diagnosed with recurrence of cancer in that same breast after a full round of radiation, everything they could do to me. And actually in 2004, they had to operate twice, and then it still came back. And no food was going to fix, I don't want to say that. There is some research about some cancers requiring glucose to multiply, but I'm not even going to talk about that because research is ongoing. So I was going to say there's no food that's going to fix that, but certainly so-called comfort food was not going to solve any of those problems. So I know once I started once the message was so simple, and then I read The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living by Dr. Stephen Phinney and Jeff Volek, and it explained in terms that were a little sciencey, but I could understand it. I'm a bright person. The physiology of why it works, and I'm sorry, I'm getting into the sunlight here. I'm going to lean in, whole place, because I'm going to start to glow, and not in a good way. I never looked back. So no, I never binge eat. The only time I've had any carbs knowingly was a sliver, and I mean a sliver of wedding cake at our son's wedding about 3 months in, and that was fine. Put on 6 pounds. Okay, let's go to that. Regina Clinton writes, so true, I needed this so bad, been off track for a month and starting to feel awful. Today is a new day. Not hungry, food is not the solution. Food is not the solution. What if we switched it out? I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. I'm going to go to the bathroom and pee. Well, no, that doesn't solve anything unless you actually need to pee. I mean, this is a bodily function and bodily signals. And, you know, society and marketing and food companies really want us to have comfort food. How many things are directed at that? T-shirt. Is food is, you know, yeah, T-shirt. We need to get some more swag. By the way, we're low on swag. I do want to here's a shirt that our friends from campusmarketing.com, they do a fabulous job. Not a sponsor, but a friend of the show. They do, and they can take anything from pencils to backpacks to journals. By the way, we have Go Keto with KC blank journals if you want to journal your stuff. Penny Snowden asks, does anyone else get worried when they feel hungrier than they think they should? Well, some days I'm hungrier than others. I mean, some days I'm just inside out. It's like my stomach feels concave. Yesterday, I barely ate. I don't even know that I ate solid food yesterday. So I think it just changes. I think that's another thing we make a mistake, thinking that our bodies are on some 24-hour thing that reboots every night and we start over exactly the same. No, our bodies function on a continuum. Don't you find that some nights you sleep better than others and some nights you need less sleep? Some days you simply have more energy than others. Our bodies are on a continuum. Okay, I look really weird here. Yeah, and you'll gain super fast when you get back on. Hey! I saw Kimmy from Germany. Now I can't see it because the comments are going by. I'm going to take 20 seconds here. I do want to give a plug for patreon.com / Go Keto with Casey. Patrons are great. You get a lot of patron-only content. Contributions from $2 a month up to whatever will get you anything from weekday videos from me all the way up to one-on-one coaching with me. But you can go over there and check it out. If you are going to be in the Greensboro, North Carolina area on Monday, that's the 9th. Not this coming Monday, the next Monday, the July 9th. Free show up at Wine Styles at Friendly Center for a Go Keto with Casey meetup. I don't collect email addresses. There's nothing to buy. You don't have to speak if you don't want to. You can ask questions, share stories. The wine is half priced, wine by the glass. So that is 5:30 to 7 in Greensboro. And there are a couple of other events coming up, but I'll let you know about that. Go Keto with Casey, the cruise, happening March 23rd through the 29th, 2019 on Celebrity Equinox. More information on that this weekend will be on my blog. I'll be putting it on Facebook and everything else. So the contact information for the cruise person, by the way, that is not a profit center for me. The profits go to the cruise line, not to me. And Go Keto with Casey Roadshow in Portland, Oregon. I've just signed the contract for the venue, which is the Lloyd Center. So the 28th, 29th of September, a Friday meet and greet, a little catered affair we'll have. And Saturday, a space at Lloyd Center in Portland, Oregon. More info to follow. And patrons will get a discount to those tickets. Okay, back to you guys. 20 total carbs a day. Thank you, Susie. You must be answering a question. Hey, Kimmy. Oh, darn, I would have loved to come, but I have to work. Kimmy's in Germany. Edna Allen writes, 20 grams or less total carbs. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satisfied. That's it for me. You do what works for you. And I keep sinking because the sun is coming over the yard arm there. I don't know if there's a way to block out this. So this probably was not a great idea, doing this on a super sunny day. But isn't it pretty outside? Okay, I'm going to start to wrap up here. Let me see what we've got going. Does anyone have any real specific... Oh, great. I'm glad, because I don't know anything about Portland. And thank you to my friend Cindy for scoping that out for me. Hey, Susan, haven't heard from you in a while. I hope everything's going well with you. Thank you, thank you. Paula Molinari writes, I haven't lost anything in 3 weeks, but clothes keep getting bigger. You know what? We just talked about this on Patreon. It's really funny how we frame things for ourselves. Paula, your clothes didn't get bigger. They're the same size. Admit to yourself that you've gotten smaller. But we don't like to say that, right? It sounds braggy or vain. I've gotten smaller. Well, I've gotten smaller. Oh, my hair looks awful. I've gotten smaller. Yeah, look at that. That's just terrible. Ugh. All right. Let's start to wrap this. Oh, I've been going on for a long time now. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. And this is a lesson for you. I took someone's advice off of the internet about how to do this Facebook Live faster, better. Be careful of your source of information. Be very careful of your sources of information. Really be careful, because there's a lot of craziness out there. It's also very warm out here today. It's going to be in the mid-90s. Okay, guys, thank you. Oh, be prepared for Portland traffic. Can I tell you that the Lloyd Center, apparently, the train for $2.50 can get you from the airport and dump you right there. And there are several hotels right near Lloyd Center. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to be all about public transportation and walking. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hey, Pamela, thank you guys so much. I will hope to see you next week. If you're in Greensboro, stop by Wine Styles. Again, you don't have to, it's free. There's nothing to sell. It's just a meetup trying to either, a little support meeting or informational session. There are a couple of other things coming up in September. There'll be a Durham event that will be ticketed, one at which I will be speaking along with others. I'm very, very honored to be part of it, but I'll wait for the event organizers to put that information out. That'll be on the 22nd of September in Durham. Oh, my hair does not look wonderful. It looks just awful, I will say. It's a different disaster every day with me. Okay, thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves. Keep it simple. Don't judge yourself poorly. Treat yourself as well as you would treat your friend, your coworker, your kid. Be nice to yourself. Keep it simple. And don't stress. Thanks to patrons. I really appreciate you. Y'all make it possible. Alrighty. TTFN. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye, Kimmy. See you soon.